We are highlighting White Tank Mountain Regional Park. It's one of the Maricopa regional parks. There are 5 of them that have camping, and we've been at White Tank Campground for about 2 weeks, and I have to say it's one of my favorites. This campground is very nice. If you've never stayed at one of the regional parks in the Phoenix area, these are some real gems of camping. They are very nicely laid out. They're spread out there. You've got a lot of space between you and your neighbor. You have, because it's desert, you have a very desert feel to the campground. There's a lot of cactus around you, a lot of wildlife. Now while you're staying here, we've seen a coyote, rabbits, deer. So it is really a nice campground. A few things that I really like about these campgrounds, and this one in particular, there are a number of trails throughout the campground that you can hike on, or mountain bike, or even horseback ride. I've been using my bike and riding the trails. It's just something new for me, and I've really gotten to enjoy doing mountain bike trail riding. And it's very challenging, and it's a lot of fun on these campgrounds, or these trails I should say. I also like the location of this campground. It's very close to Peoria and Surprise, Arizona, and that will get you close to a lot of shopping. You've probably got less than 10 miles to drive, and you can get pretty much everything you need. Walmart, Costco, Safeway, lots of restaurants. So it's very nice like that. We are very close to Luke Air Force Base, so you may hear in the background some noise of jets flying by during the day, especially during the week. We get a lot of jet activity around here, which is enjoyable to watch and kind of makes you feel comfortable that you know that they're out there protecting you. Every campground is very spacious. You have a picnic table, a fire pit, and a grill. They also have water and electric, so there's no sewer but water and electric, and there is a dump station on site. The electric is both 30 and 50 amps, so you've got everything covered here that you may need. One of the things I really like about these campsites is that before you roll into any of these campsites, the campground host comes by, cleans the site, rakes all the gravel, so there's no footprints, there's nothing. It looks like a nice, fresh, clean campsite for the next occupant, which is something that I really enjoy. You know, the better campgrounds seem to do that. That's one of the things, like if you go to Walt Disney World and you stay at Fort Wilderness, that's what they do at those campgrounds. They're all raked and prepped for you for every guest that comes in, and that's what they do here, which is really nice. They have 2 campground hosts on duty, so that there's always somebody here. There are security patrols through the campground. You're well away from the highway and the main road. Out to the campground entrance is almost 5 miles. So you've got a little bit of distance between you and the rest of the world, so to speak. Now, these campgrounds can get pretty busy. We wanted 2 weeks here, and I made my reservations 6 months in advance, which I would recommend if you want a large block of time. That's the maximum advance that you can reserve is 6 months, and the maximum amount of time that you can reserve is 2 weeks. White Tank Mountain Campground is located on the west side of Phoenix. We're right off of the 303 highway, so it's easy to get to. And like I mentioned, it's also very close to a lot of shopping centers and such, so you're very easy to get the things you need. One of the things that we did while staying here was we used this as a base point to go to the NASCAR race at Phoenix International Raceway. Very easy to get to from here. We weren't in the crowd of all the people staying at the racetrack. In fact, I think there's only a couple other people from this campground that went to the races that weekend, from what I could tell. The campground has about 40 campsites. They are all equipped the same with water and electric, 30 amp and 40 amp. So you can pick whatever you want. They're all very well laid out. I wouldn't say there's a bad campsite here. There are a few pull-through sites, and those probably aren't my favorite because you're right, the pull-through is basically just an extension of the road, so you're right on the edge of the road. But if that's what you need for your rig, you can do that. And you can always set your rig up so that the door of your camper goes to the campsite side of things and not to the road. So like I said, this is one of my favorite campgrounds, and because of that, I'm going to give it my first 5-star rating. It may not be everybody's pick because you don't have full hookups. I know a lot of people like full hookups, but I really enjoy the location, the activities that are here for you, the hiking, the biking and such are things that I really enjoy and would rate more over having a sewer hookup. We can get by on our tanks for a week at a time, so we're fine. We just had to move and dump once during the 2 weeks we stayed here. So for me, that's not a big issue. The other things of having a nice location, having a little bit of privacy at your campsite compared to some places where you're right on top of your neighbors, I really prioritize that over some of the other amenities that you might get at a campground. So this is getting a 5-star rating. It's my first 5-star rating since we started this series. And I hope that if you are in this area of Phoenix and you're looking for a place to stay, check out the Maricopa County regional parks. Check out White Tank if you're in this side of the city, but check out any of them. And we're going to have a few reviews coming up of a couple other regional parks, so stay tuned for those. Well, thanks very much for watching, and we will see you down the road. Bye, everybody.